this is my 74 914, pretty decent car. Everybody realized these things had little 4 cylinders in them, probably about 90 horsepower. If you're lucky enough to get one of the 6-cylinder versions, that had just a boatload of horsepower, all the way up to 125 horsepower. But here's what I want to show you. This is a D21 1988 to about 1990 V6 3-liter from Nissan. That's not original on there, but I decided to go ahead and stick that on there. And I come around here to the back. I don't know, I might take some of this off. I got 914, Nissan, and then the 3-liter. Obviously from Porsche. This right here is from Nissan, and this right here is from an Opel Senator I pulled off the junkyard. But anyway, not what I'm here to talk about. What I want to show you is a little issue I've been having with this thing. So I'm going to place this down right here. I made myself this little air intake cleaner here, and let me get this out of here. So pop this out, and I'll show you what I made myself here. This is a little piece I fabricated to put it at the right angle. Now what you see down here is also a Weber carburetor. This is called a 3236 Weber progressive. That means on this side it's 32 millimeters, and that's what you drive around in idle traffic and just small commute. But when you get on it, this one right here dumps, and then you've got your 36 on top of the 32, so you get a little bit of that wah wah sound. Now if you notice, this right here is an accelerated pump, and this is actually a true Weber pump. If I go around to the other side here, what's missing is the accelerated pump, and Holly calls these things the double pumper, if you will. So when that secondary opens up, which is this side right here, it squirts a little bit of fuel in here. That's exactly the issue I'm having at about 4,000 RPM. This thing has a little bog on it momentarily, and if you go into it nice and slow, and then the butterfly way on the bottom opens up, then it doesn't notice it. But if you try to romp on it, it goes lean for like a split second. So again, this is my original Weber. So I went online, and I found myself a Chinese brand knockoff. Now I realize $100 is still a chunk of change. So what I'm going to do here is I went online all the way from Hong Kong or China right here, and this was $100. This is what's called a symmetrical opening 3838 Weber knockoff, made in China. And I'm going to open this sucker up. This is the unveiling of it. It just showed up after a long 2-day wait. PayPal paid for this sucker. What do we got here? This is called MA P-Ding Racing Rods. Anyway, customer service card. Let me see what this sucker looks like. Okay, got all the little crap in here. And let me pull that sucker out of there. Well, it's wrapped really nice. In a bag, and all this little protective stuff. And frankly, I don't care if it's made in China or not. For $100, if it gets rid of the issue and it looks kind of spiffy, that's what we got. So cool. So what I was talking earlier, these right here are both 38 millimeters, and there's that Siamese contraption they got on here. So when you give it gas, you see how that does? And then it opens up both at the same time. Now that'll stop that. This one also doesn't have a secondary on it. I guess you can probably put one in there if you fab it. Don't know where I'd run the lines to, but I did a little research on this thing. Electric choke. So gonna install it and see what happens. Alright, carburetors are out. This one right here is the original Weber, 3236. And this is a symmetric or Siamese 3838. The only issue I'm going to have now is this is what's actually on the Nissan motor / Porsche 914, and this is what came in the box. So no big deal. I think I should be able to take this little, what's about a 13 or 14 millimeter metric right down here, and just take this one off, and replace it with this one right here, which is the one that comes off of the standard Nissan, I believe it is. But they look exactly the same, metering's the same. This one actually has an adjustability down here for this port. Okay, I see that. That's the idle mixture. And there's another idle mixture down there, way down here. And then this one obviously should only have one, which is right there at an angle. Here's what's usually known as a throttle body, and this is inside the motor. So the little red area right now that's already been kind of like chopped out of there. But what I figured out now is the orifice or the hole that this adapter plate was right here is actually way too small for this 38 carb on the bottom. So basically what I did is I placed it on there, marked where I had to pull it off, and you can see those little lines right there. I'm going to take a little bit off right here, and I'm going to show you a little trick right here. Now this is some North Carolina stuff right here, so if you don't have a CNC machine but you do like the woodwork, I'm going to show you what I do right here. Not wrong or right, don't be a hater. Put on your safety glasses, grab yourself your router, and then this is pretty cool because you can actually watch the aluminum foil being made right now. So this is it. And you basically just nibble it out a little bit. It works perfectly fine. Aluminum is a soft metal, so here we go. Again, not 100% professional, but this actually works. There's the proof right there, nice and slow. Don't get the thing hot. And I'm getting ready to actually put this thing on the car because it doesn't make a difference if you've got a big or a larger carburetor. If you're trying to squeeze all that fuel and air mixture through this little bitty hole right here, ain't gonna work too good. Anyway, that's just me. Take care. Bye-bye. Here's what I finished up yesterday. And this is just a block, and this is my machining right here to try to get to this right here. And if you notice, anytime you have a pattern like this, that means you had excess gasket material that didn't need to be there, and either is blocking the airflow. So open this up as much as I could, and if you notice, it sits basically right down here, and it clears. You can see that it's perfectly smooth here, and it basically doesn't restrict the carburetor now. And let me show you one thing I found out. The Weber I have right here is actually a pretty precise product, but the one I got from China, if you notice right here, here's the accelerator pump cam right here. And if you notice when you give gas, see that space in between there? That's got to be cleared up. So I'm going to take this piece off right here, put a little bitty piece of 1/8" metal. I'm just going to tack weld this to the bottom right here so it closes up that gap right there. Because what happens is the butterflies will open up and it doesn't have that initial squirt of gas. So you probably already saw these. These are the old gaskets, not going to put them back on here. So I'll always keep some of this stuff handy right here. Rinse AMF 38 is the name of it. And it's just a good quality, fairly thick, looks like about 1/8 of an inch. Easy to work with gasket material. So basically I traced out this one after checking it, got my holes in here, and I'm going to move over here. There's a couple of different ways you can actually do this, but here's the way I do it. Pop this down right here, move it over, and I just use one of these Harbor Freight keyhole saws, or step drills I think they call them, and I got myself a dot right there in the middle. And I'll just run this thing down in here. Gotta close up or move this up a little bit. Now this ain't gonna work, hold on. kind of got to watch it here because you got to go through the middle of here to lock this back down. And cut that hole exactly the way you need it, about the size too. A little bit larger, one step more. And then you can take this thing off and then just kind of clean it up around there a little bit. Flip it around. Just lightly touch it on, then it gets the burrs off of it. And that's what you're looking for right there. All right, I'll do the other ones now. Gaskets on the top, holes are lined up. Flip it around and get yourself the inside drawn right here. All right, looking pretty good. So now I just got to cut out this little section on the inside. I'll use an X-Acto knife for that. So here's the ride. Carburetor is in. I got it flipped around the other direction. Looking pretty spiffy. If you can see that or not, I've got everything pretty well cleaned up down here, polished it all out. Made new gaskets. It's mounted in here. And show you this side right here. So it's a clean little setup. Now the question comes down to bear is, do I accept decreased fuel economy, minor, don't know what it is right now, for, I'm taking a wild guess, maybe 10 horsepower on top end. So I don't know, I'm not going to chunk my old carburetor, but this thing definitely sounds good. And what I do have is I can actually hit past 6,000 RPMs right now. And that's what I wasn't able to do earlier, just because the CMF rating on the 3236 just wasn't strong enough. It didn't pass enough air. So definitely performance increase. The just question is you know, the drivability of it and the fuel economy of it. But anyway, it's a good chance to clean everything up, and I'm getting ready to now mount my air cleaner back down here. And you can see I got this right down here. It's gonna go right here, and the rest of the pieces are right here. So this actually a little homemade fabrication. This goes on here, and then this old Summit Racing air cleaner goes on here. And then what I'm missing here is I'm gonna make myself a nice little shroud right here, bend the aluminum, and then 2K silver it. So it actually looks pretty decent. All right, take care, bye-bye.